All right, can you guys hear me now? Thanks. Sorry, I turned down the music and I didn't turn my mic on. But you guys should be able to hear me now. So, what's up, everybody? Welcome to an impromptu hang. Thank you so much for everybody being here already. Yeah, this is something that I've really enjoyed doing. Typically, I'm usually editing in the background. I might do a little editing today, but honestly, usually you guys have a lot of questions and we just chat and whatever, so I don't get a whole lot done. So I don't typically edit, but nonetheless, excited for this. Yeah, something that we do. So, eventually this might move to a members only thing. It is one of our membership, kind of additional bonuses you get. You can become a member by hitting that little join button. I already see some members here in the chat. What's up, members? Many thanks to you guys. Obviously you play a huge role in the wedding film school community and help us do things like this and the tutorials and BTS and all that stuff that we do that we have to throw a lot of time and money into. So greatly appreciated. Perks, that's the right word. So yeah, you guys can check that out. It starts at just $5 a month. A few other big things and just like, hey guys, live open Q&A. If you got any questions about anything, probably wedding filmmaking, but I'll try my best on other topics. Go ahead and start throwing them in chat now. I'll try to get to all of them, but a few things to just bring up before I dive into that stuff. Let's see. We have a huge event upcoming. I don't know if anybody in chat right now, so anybody live or anybody who watches this after it's already ended is attending WPPI. But we will be there, myself, Jared, and Jason. We were there last year as well. Really awesome event, and definitely, traditionally more photo focused for wedding photographers. But we, along with other people, are putting in efforts to make a more video, focus aspect of it too. So there's already the wedding film competition, which is a really tough competition. Really, really good wedding filmmakers submit to that. Sculpting with Time, Henry Martin's, or Brothers Martin's, sorry. A bunch of other people are all submitting to that. So, the best in the biz, basically. So really fun stuff there. And then, but on top of that, we host the Wedding Film Speakeasy. So we had our first Wedding Film Speakeasy at WPPI last year. We'll be having the next one this year. Let me look at my phone to give you the exact date because I'm going to get it wrong. It is on March 1st. So March 1st in the evening, we'll be taking, we have 50 spots available. It's probably close to sold out already, but it is free, so sold out in a sign-up sense. We'll be taking 50 people to an awesome speakeasy, food and drinks on us, some live music, and we have some amazing sponsors this year. We have partnered with some big players. We've got Music Bed. We've got Aperture, QNAP. I'm forgetting people for sure. I'm going to pull up my phone again. I think we've got like 8 sponsors this year. It's hard to keep track of. In a good way, of course. Let me bring that up, though. But yeah, so awesome sponsors throwing you guys, some free goodies and stuff like that. We've also got Pond 5. We got Deity Microphones, Mediazilla, which is an awesome partner of ours, and YOLO Live, as well as Lumix. So some big players in that list. And yeah, every attendee will get some cool, swag and stuff like that. Some good coupon codes, that kind of thing. Some physical items. And then we've got some big giveaways. So all of those companies are giving away, we've got a handful of lights to give away from Aperture. I think a QNAP system, like annual subscriptions to music beds, stuff like that. So really cool stuff. Come check us out, and you can sign up for that in advance. There's some stuff in the group, and I see Jay in the comments here, so maybe he has the link for it. But anyways, come out to that. We'd love to see you. If you're going to be at WPPI, let us know in comments here or hit us up in the group or something, because we do have some classes. We have the Wedding Film Speakeasy we'd love to get you guys at. And just generally hang out, because we've got some downtime, I'm sure, too. So, and yeah, I don't know. That's everything kind of news-wise. Let me know what you guys are up to. What are you working on right now? I'm done with weddings. It feels amazing. I was probably done with weddings last time I did this too, but yeah, I'm trying to think what I'm doing. Got a few, commercial shoots, stuff like that. Kind of booking season for me. I saw the A7S III was in stock recently. It might still be in stock, but I had picked one up maybe a month or two ago from a member here, and I've been playing around with that. And I texted him. He's like, oh, hey, I just want to make sure it's good. And I was like, yeah, the only downside is it makes all my other cameras look like trash. So that's been fun. I probably got to upgrade everything now. But what's up, everybody? I'm seeing you, Vision Wave, Grant, Sky London, Starstruck. Cool. Let's get into some questions. Let's see. Starstruck, you're here for it live. Yes, you are. Congrats. I know we don't have like a super, set schedule on this stuff. It's kind of just whenever I have an afternoon, pretty open. It's going to be more talking than I do in like a month usually. That's the way it goes. Okay, Vision Wave with a question. How do you determine the best time to up your prices? Pretty much fully booked for 2022 with 58 weddings. Dang. All right. Vision Wave, are you do you have multiple teams, or are you shooting every wedding? That's kind of more out of curiosity for maybe expanding. I think that upping your prices can go a couple different ways. All you. Okay, so first of all, I don't know how long you've been shooting weddings. I don't know if I should know that. I can't remember. But that is a shitload of weddings to do by yourself. So be very, very careful. So all that to say, be very careful about burnout. Yeah. I've seen a lot of people come into this industry do, 50 weddings, and they're done in like a year. Okay, you've been doing it for a while, so okay, that's what I thought. I was like, wait, huh? I don't know. Yeah, that's so many weddings. So props to you, man. I do 15 in a year, and sometimes I feel overwhelmed. So I think the best time to up prices, I think there's different approaches you can do. Whenever I've raised prices, I've always raised them. I guess typically, I wouldn't say at the new year. I guess I'm probably doing it or working it out kind of towards the end of wedding season. So, if I'm raising rates for 2022 for this year, I would have kind of come up with that and done it in maybe September or October. Basically when I'm probably not going to get any more inquiries for kind of a year. And I could always send them my old pricing if I wanted to or whatever. Because I find, you're going to have maybe half your year booked at your old prices. So that's the downside of that, right? Like if I book maybe half my weddings a year out, then if I raise my prices in September, I'm already going to be about halfway booked. But it is going to raise my rates for all those inquiries that come in, in the new year, around like Christmas time, around Valentine's, kind of what is considered like booking season for a lot of people. So I like that. I like it because I already have like a built-in, I'm already halfway booked. It's not the end of the world if I were to way overprice myself by accident, or I don't know, find that it puts me in a new bracket and there's more competition or something like that. If something were to go wrong, I already have some built-in weddings. Another way that I know people have done it and have found success is to raise your rate in smaller increments for every, whatever you set. But every 3 weddings you book, you raise $300. And after 3 more weddings, you raise $300. And the nice thing with that, especially, that's going to look different for every person. Like, I'm only doing 15 weddings. So maybe for me, it's every 2 weddings. And maybe I'm doing bigger increments. If you're booking 50, 60 weddings, you're maybe doing smaller increments or more weddings in between, or, you can do whatever you want, of course. But all that to say, one of the benefits of that is kind of similar in that, like, you are having some built-in bookings already. It's not like you're going from 0 bookings, raising rates, and you have the risk of, oh shoot, something is wrong with this. I priced myself out of the market, or, I can't get referrals anymore. All the vendors that refer me are priced too low below me now, or something like that. It also lets you this way kind of test that sweet spot. So what you're going to find is, if you keep track of your inquiries and your booking rate, what you'll find is, as you raise and raise and raise and raise, eventually you're going to see this drop off in your booking rate. And that might mean, hey, that's where people kind of value your work. That's where you kind of sit in the market. That's what your market can handle. I mean, it can mean a lot of different things, but it kind of helps you find that sweet spot where you maybe go over the edge a little bit and you say, oh shoot, this is, maybe I need to take it back down 1 notch, and that's kind of where I need to sit for another year or something like that. So there's my approach, at least, is I like having a safe way to do it, if that makes sense. So that's my answer for that. I got to scroll way back up. What's up, Jay? All right, what would be your top tips for starting wedding videography? How to land clients? How much to charge? How to shoot if you don't have a portfolio? So everybody will feel differently about this. I know there are some people who say that you should shoot for free. My personal opinion, the way I did it, the way I recommend people to do it, although, look, you could go have a great marketing background and market yourself for a reasonable rate right off the bat, and there are people who do not great work and make good money, and there are people who do great work and make bad money, and everything in between, right? So there's no right or wrong. It's not black and white. There's tons of avenues to get to the same endpoint, if a full-time wedding filmmaking or whatever, if that's what you want. But my top tip is to second shoot for somebody else, or start out as an assistant if that's what you have to do. Find somebody that you think does very good work. Find somebody that you think runs a good business, right? Because doing good work is only part of the equation. You can do great work, but if you can't run a business, you might be out of business. And I know plenty of people who struggle with that. So I really do champion second shooting. I would second shoot for a year, and then maybe you have some portfolio, or at least you have experience. So that way, when you do a wedding, maybe for free or maybe for cheap, you do 1 or 2, and that way you know what you're doing, and you actually have high quality content for your portfolio. And then you market the hell out of that stuff, get it in front of everybody, build your website off of it, whatever. So that's my recommendation, I think, for an approach. Again, everybody can do it differently. But there's some other benefits to that too. Like, you get good experience, and your, neck, so to speak, is not on the line, right? You're not or your brand is not on the line. You are not risking, I guess there's some risk, but you're really not risking anything. You can build up, you can get your hands on a lot of different gear. You can familiarize yourself with what, you want in a kit and what you typically find yourself shooting with, and the, cameras, audio, lenses, whatever that you like using. So, and they can be a great referral source because, I've had people intern for me or second shoot for me or whatever, kind of learn under me. And then when I get an inquiry, if I think they're a hard worker and they do good work and I trust them to put my name to it, and I get an inquiry for maybe their budget is half of where I start, because I've been, in the game way longer and whatever, and their budget is still respectable, I think, I could send that to a second shooter and say, hey, this guy does great work. He's worked under me for a while, and I think he could take care of you. So you get referrals that way too. So yeah, best way to organize your timeline. So I have some videos on, I think they're on Wedding Film School. They are old, and I do want to redo them on editing. I like to build out little stories. But the main thing that I typically do is I lay down my music first, and then I lay down my audio clips. So that could be from speeches or ceremony or letters or whatever. And I get that all worked out. So I have my story built out. And then I go through my timeline and I make markers. In Final Cut, you just hit the M key. It makes a little marker, and then you can add a note to it. And I mark out kind of the whole flow of where I want things to go, what things I want to see at different points in the music or in the story. And of course, there's some leeway there. And then as I start, I mostly pull clips from my library right into my timeline. I know some people bring a lot of clips into their timeline, like they do their selects, their bests. But I feel like I'm just very familiar with the footage I shoot and pretty good at remembering like what I want, kind of. But I will say that before your timeline, and the more important, if you do it that way, my way at least, or at least for me, the more important organization is in how you organize your library, which I also have a video on. I use, what are they called? Smart folders or keyword folders or something like that, for different points in the day. So I have a folder for bridal prep, bridal details, groom prep, I don't know, venue shots, drone shots, romantics, speeches, dances, reception details, ceremony, family photos, I don't know, whatever, right? Like every single thing, every category that you would shoot in the day. And that way, I just click the folder. I know, okay, this part I'm going to use a little bit of groom, a couple groom shots right here. Click the folder. Okay, these are the ones I haven't used yet. These are the, I don't overshoot. That's another big part of it. I don't go into groom prep and have 75 clips to look through. I have 10 because I know that's all I need. So, there's lots of ways. I don't know if that answers your question, but, 2 more weddings in the edit. Grant, awesome. Or Fitzgerald Film, sorry. You'll be done in no time. Oh, well, 15 more edits. Well, I hope they're paying you well. I don't know Glasser Images. I assume they're local because I know you're in Minneapolis or around Minneapolis. I hope they're charging appropriate rates for the area, and I hope that they are paying you and anybody else who is shooting with you or with them well. Dang, Vision Wave. Yeah, you do it all, I guess, huh? Yeah, Sky. So Sky London just saying, like, best time to put prices up. You just got to go for it. Yeah, I mean, the best time probably is yesterday, right? In a lot of ways. And the second best time is right now. Especially, I think that advice doesn't track if you like have no bookings or something, because then there's probably an error, like there's a problem somewhere else in your workflow or presentation or whatever. But you have 58 weddings for a one-man show. That is an absolutely insane amount. You probably should have raised prices, 6 months ago or something. Let's see. I'll shoot my comments. Just all right. I'm going up. Bored at this time of the year. Just waiting for a wedding. Well, you got 58 of them. So, any sound packs I recommend? I guess I'm not entirely sure if you're looking for like sound effects. I don't really use sound effects that much. Actually, that's not true. I do on some like more creative edits. I don't really know. I'm not a good person to ask for that, to be honest. I know Soundstripe has sound effects in like their upgraded package. I remember looking at them once and I wasn't that, like, the quality's there, but I didn't find the library to be like that huge. I know there are packs that people recommend, but yeah, unfortunately I don't really have any good ones. Sorry. Yeah, I mean, Vision Wave, you could also do the like every 3 weddings, raise it a little bit just so you start seeing some increase, in your profit. And then once you're 50% full, go up to what you wanted your full like jump to be or something. Awesome job, Hemlock. 2 weddings at your new prices. But feel like I'm not reaching the clients I'm targeting. Don't think it's a price issue. Yeah, I mean, there's there's tons of different approaches, right? So where are you getting your inquiries from? Keep track of that. Everybody should be using a CRM tool. I like Dubsado. I'm not affiliated with them or sponsored by them. I know some people use 17 Hats, Tave. I don't know. There's a bunch of them. But in that, everybody should be using it because you can track a ton of things, and it does so many things for you. But part of it is that you can track your inquiry sources, and that's knowledge that you should have. So yeah, find out where you're getting those from. That might be a clue. If you're getting them all from the Knot or something, like they really have no tie to you. They're probably sending out a message to 20 other vendors, But if you're getting them all from a specific wedding planner, that should be a great lead. So if they're not booking, then there's an issue somewhere else. Or past clients or something. Is it your presentation? Is it your workflow, your emails? It could be something small like grammar. That's like, if I contact a business and they, shoot me an email that looks like a text, I'm probably not interested in working with them. It's just personally, I don't know, for whatever reason, right? So it could be anything, which is not a great answer to you because it's not going to answer your question. But yeah, there's lots of different things to look at there. Fitzgerald Films, yeah, doing 300 every 3. Yeah, there's lots of different ways. And yeah, exactly. You went from 1,500 to 2,700 and you did it in like a safe, way or whatever. So, let's get some music back in the mix. All right. I gotta go back in here. Shot 43 with the most being from July to October. Delivered within a month. That's crazy. I would almost tell you to tone that down or something, man. That's crazy. I deliver 4 to 8 weeks, and that's very fast for a lot of people, I think. And again, I do 15, and I also outsource almost all of my editing, so, or a lot of it. Shoot. Every time one of you guys comments, it brings all my comments down because I haven't caught up. But keep commenting. I like it. Let's see. Yeah, exactly. That hands-on experience of associate shooting is huge. So, yeah, smart folders. I forget what I called them. I think I said smart folders. But yeah, I love that system. That's what I've used for maybe, 5-6 years, something like that. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that video is somewhere here on the channel. It's probably a little bit older, but yeah. Chevy, I might be mispronouncing, but no problem. Happy to help. Oh yeah, Glasser Films. They were in North Dakota or something, right? Or wait, were they here in Minneapolis or South Dakota? I don't remember. That's crazy. Oh dang, I'd be curious to hear what that experience was like. Cause yeah, I know they just closed. I remember getting a couple. I think I got 2 inquiries, or maybe I had 2 phone meetings. Got a few more inquiries of people who were like, "I'm sure you've heard this company went out of business and blah blah blah." So, nice. Yeah, that sounds like a good plan, Vision Wave. Although honestly, I think you could raise your rates now. Any Dubsado tips? I don't really know. It's kind of straightforward. I know the things that are most important to me are automatic emails, keeping track of all my inquiries, where they're coming from, and then obviously, I do my contracts and proposals and all that through that, and invoicing and stuff. I'm sure that there are things in Dubsado that I'm not utilizing. I know it's a very powerful tool and is probably way more powerful than I even give it credit for. So, yeah. Definitely set it up though. It's so worth it. It saves me so much time. And just not having to have the mental capacity to keep track of Like, I used to not have a CRM, and I'd send emails out for inquiries, and then, like, I'd be like, oh, yeah, I should follow up with those people. And I'd have to, like, write it on a piece of paper. I'd be like, I would, like, write down, like, the names of people that I have to follow up with. And then, you know, maybe in, like, a week or something, I'd, like, look at that paper again and be like, okay, now's been enough time. I can follow up. And I'd cross people off as I sent a follow-up, you know, and copy-paste it to each person. And now that's all automated. And it's just so nice. Just ordered the A7 IV. How long have people waited for delivery? No idea. Did it say back ordered when he ordered it? Because if not, I mean, it should be, I don't know, quick. Do you walk clients through positioning? I'm not entirely sure what you're asking there. I think you're asking about posing couples for, you know, like the bride and groom portrait session or whatever. I like to say that I give prompts. I'm not really into posing people too much. I mean, yeah, a little bit here and there. And at other times, like, but even then, like, you know, I'm going to move people into good light. I'm going to give them prompts to interact. But I don't think posing works well for video. I know there's some videographers who really pose really heavy, and it's kind of like a photographer. And I don't know. It's not my thing. It's just not my style. So in a sense, yes, if that's what you're asking. I do walk clients through positioning. I do pose them a little bit, but it's more prompts and direction. Yeah, they do. Yeah, so Starstruck, I know they do a lifetime sometimes or something. I don't know, like, if it's like once a year or just like at random when they need to like raise funds, or who knows. But yeah. Oh, my lights are turned off. Should I turn them on? All right, I'm going to. Gotta have my scene set. Dang, how could I forget that? But yeah, so Lifetime is a thing they do, but it's super, like, a year is like, I don't know, $350 or something. I don't know. It's very, very, very reasonable. What is the best LUT? Thanks, Jay. Thanks for the very good question. The best LUT is the one that achieves the look that you want and is probably also something that you still have to tweak, because you probably aren't just laying a LUT over everything and calling it a day. Yeah, I know. I gotta see what it costs to do the lifetime subscription when it pops up again. I know I probably should just do it because I've used them for a while and I love them, and I don't envision myself setting up a different CRM, but I do annual payments, I think, so it's whatever. Jay, Singularity Sound Pack. Yeah, like, whoever was asking that, I forget. Check that one out. Yeah, I just don't know. Yeah, I'm sure that was crazy. Okay, yeah, North Dakota, yeah. I have a specific destination I want to shoot in 2023. I've been reaching out to photographers and planners, and I've only had one reply back. Any tips on how to get vendors to at least reply? I don't really have good... Jay might be able to chime in on that. I think it's really hard. Like, you're basically just cold emailing people, right? Like, why do... They don't know you. Why do they want to work with you? I think that's the reality of it. I'm not saying it's impossible. I'm not saying don't try. But I'm saying... I would find a way to target couples. And if you really, really want to work your way into a specific destination, I don't think that it is wrong to do a wedding for free, especially if you know what you're doing. I don't have a specific recommendation on how to target those couples, because I think it just really depends on the place or the venue or the area or whatever. But again, not saying that it's not worth it to reach out to planners and photographers, but like, put yourself in their shoes. If you have a photographer reaching out who is from across the country or whatever, or a different country, and they just cold email you, as nice as they may be, and professional as they may be, and as good as their work might be, I'm probably just not really even entertaining that email. Like that's just the way it is, I think. So yeah, I don't really know. Camera positioning. I don't walk my clients through camera positioning. No, that's not their call, and they don't play any role in that. I set my cameras up where I need to, and I run my cameras how I need to. That's my job as the professional. That's not something that they need to worry about. Yeah, I do think, short and genuine in that outreach was kind of just a feeler. And then if you do get a reply back, then kind of really, dive in. And, man, my best recommendation, if you really want to go shoot, is I would email them and say, I really want to meet up. And I'd go take a week and go there and meet with people and provide value to them and show that you're awesome to work with. Or go there and set up a styled shoot and bring the people that you really want to get referrals from and work with in on that. Front the costs. I mean, it's going to be an investment, I think, in some way, shape, or form. But maybe it's worth it. Camera positioning where I stand in ceremony. Yeah, same answer. Look, unless there's restrictions, I will say this. If you're the type of videographer that is all up in their face and 2 inches away from them, yeah, you better run that by them, but B, stop doing that, because I think it makes the whole industry look bad, so just don't do that. But if you're not in the way, which I don't think you should be, there's no reason to worry or, bother them with that. If there are restrictions on the venue, like some churches have restrictions, then obviously there's a bit of communication. But even then, it's them just saying, hey, here's the restrictions if this church sent it to them, and I'll say, okay, cool, I'll talk with the point of contact at the church. I'm not going to be like, okay, I'm going to, it's just not their thing to worry about, is what I would say. 1,000 for a lifetime to Dosado? Yeah, I should probably do that because I've already paid them more than that. A7 IV, you ordered it 10 days ago. I don't know. I think it's in stock, the A7 IV. But I don't have one. I have the A7S III. So, I think they've been in stock. So if they've been in stock, I imagine you get it, in a normal time frame, 1 to 2 weeks, something like that. And if they're out of stock, then I don't know. I mean, shoot, it could be a week. It could be, a year with the chip shortage stuff that's going on. Who knows where they're going to put that stuff. But I'm sure you'll get it eventually. Adventually, that's not a word. Best advice for shooting a wedding solo. Oh, well, my best advice for shooting a wedding solo is to watch our solo wedding filmmaking BTS video, which Jared did. So, sorry, I can't get my water bottle open. So this channel is myself, Jay, and Jared. We do tons of different content, podcasts, live film critiques, stuff like that, things like this, live Q&As. But one of our best, most known for things that gets lots of attention are our BTS videos. So we bring somebody with us on a wedding day that we are shooting a real wedding that we are hired and paid for, of a real couple at a real venue, etc., etc. And we bring somebody who shadows us and shoots a ton of content of us working and us explaining what we're doing and why we're doing it. And then we put together a video for you guys, and it's pretty long form, 30 minutes, maybe 30 to 60 minutes, probably somewhere in there. We've done a lot of them, but there's one specifically for solo wedding filmmakers, so check that out. Just on the channel here, go search BTS or something like that, and I think it's in the title that one is distinctly for a solo wedding filmmaker. I don't shoot solo, so but Jared has, and stuff like that. So yeah, and yeah, I think people in the comments here can attest to the BTS videos. We pour a lot of time into those, and they're a good watch, and they're fun too. So Dubsado having an anniversary sale and giveaway next week. Ooh, maybe they'll give me a free year, or a free lifetime. Honestly, I want to get sponsored by them, but every time I've talked to them about it, they've been like, "Oh yeah, we'll give you an affiliate link," and I'm just like, "Yeah, but you would give that to me, just me, not even Wedding Film School," and I feel like we have a lot more to offer, so. # sponsor me, But I still think it's an amazing service. I don't get any kickback from referring them, and so that's why I refer them. And that's how some of the best partnerships work and start out. MusicBed has been a great partner. I had a really good phone call with them this morning. Got some exciting things in the works with them, and like, man, I've been referring them. I've used them since the day they started. I was telling them on the phone, I was like, you guys know, like, I must have been one of your first customers. I used to send them emails of things that, as a wedding filmmaker, I would like to see different on their platform, like changes that I'd like to see them make or stuff like that, because I was like, this causes some problems for me, whatever, and they would like make those changes. It was crazy. Good times back when they were nice and small, and now they're killing it, and obviously everybody loves them. So, can you get away with only 2 cameras? I'm assuming you're talking about shooting solo. Yeah, I think you can. Most of the day I'm running 1 camera, and I do have another camera on a gimbal for some gimbal shots. The main point where, you could be limited in 2 cameras is just the ceremony and maybe some reception stuff. Some of that stuff that you might have to deliver more long form. But it's doable with 2 cameras. You can cover the whole thing. It's just, you're not going to have as many angles, but yeah. BTS videos are awesome. Thank you so much, Starstruck. Yeah, so Fitzgerald films, yeah, that's definitely a way to do it. If I was running 2 cameras personally, I would run a wide safety. That's probably what I would do, because it's just 2 cameras is a lot of risk. If you could get 3, that would be really nice to do exactly what Fitzgerald Film says. So close on the groom, like down the aisle, and then being up in the processional shooting the aisle, up in the aisle shooting the processional. Crouch down to the side and whatever, and then having that wide safety just in case. So, smart. Yeah, Vision Wave. That's a smart idea. I like that. Watching our BTS videos. I mean, obviously, I like you guys watching our BTS videos, or any videos, but watching them to get back in the wedding mind before start of the season. That's smart. I should do that too. 6 free lifetime links. Maybe I gotta hop in. We will see. Oh, that's cool. Yeah, the iPhone 12 Pro. Yeah, I mean, I don't love, recommending using an iPhone really, but yeah, I think if I were to recommend it, it would be a use like that, just having a wide cutaway, just a safety, right? So like, cameras get blocked. Unmanned camera, an unmanned 70-200 on the groom, that could easily get blocked. It could randomly, if it's on autofocus, it could randomly pull focus elsewhere, or maybe you miss focus a little bit. Like, I've definitely come back from weddings at a ceremony or whatever and had a camera that I thought was in focus and slightly out, and I can't really use that shot, or I don't want to, so yeah, but that's cool that it cut together well. That's definitely a risk or whatever, right? So get a wide and back and just stay there after the processional. Yep, over the shoulder. Yeah, exactly. I usually set up cameras for all of those already. So, but because I run like 4 cameras probably at a ceremony, but I'm also not shooting solo. So, spilled water. Glad that's recorded on video for the world to see. What else, guys? Any more questions? I mean, I usually just let this stuff run until it kind of just runs out. But I've got time. Usually I'm editing too, so it's a little slower pace, but I kind of said, I'm not going to edit right now. I'm just going to answer your questions. I guess while I'm waiting for any more questions, I'll let you guys know once again, we've got WPPI coming up and the Wedding Film Speakeasy, the only event specifically and exclusively for wedding filmmakers at WPPI in Las Vegas. That's at the end of the month, early next month. It spans about 5 days or something like that, but the Speakeasy is on March 1st. We are sponsored by a ton of awesome companies for that. Let's see if I can remember them all. MusicBed, Deity, Aperture, QNAP, Mediazilla, Pond5. I'm waiting on the big one here. YOLO Live, who has sponsored us before, many thanks, and Lumix. So a ton of awesome sponsors for that event. And then we're also teaching 2 classes, so we'd love to see you there. We are also, no dates yet, but planning to do the Wedding Film Speakeasy in other cities, a few other cities across the U.S., because we are really focused, I think, in this coming year or 2 years or something like that, on the in-person community building that we want this to be about. So we'd love to see you guys there. And then another reminder, if you like what we're putting out here, obviously leave us a like, comment on our videos when you watch them, stuff like that. Helps the YouTube algorithm. We always appreciate that. But if you want to step it up a notch, you can become a member by hitting that little join button. It's down here. Maybe I'm right on it. You should tell me. It's right next to subscribe. It starts at $5 for a month. You get like priority access to having your films reviewed. You get a cool little icon in the live chat. Eventually stuff like this, like these live Q&As, might become more member only or stuff like that. So yeah, it just gets you some cool places or some cool perks. So we'd love to have you, and many thanks to our current members of the channel, because you help support what we do, and we're trying to pump out as much free content for you guys as we can and just be there for you as wedding filmmakers and build that community, because we think it's really important. So one day I'll have 6 like Andrew. Yeah, I can't imagine running 6. Like 4, I don't even, like 4 with 2 people I feel good. Like I'm kind of running like 3 by myself, and I'm just like, whew, that's a lot. What would you like to see in the DJI RS3? Here's what I will say. I do not, personally, I've gotten to review a ton of great gimbals. I've been hands-on with a ton of great gimbals. I just reviewed this guy, which I'll grab. The Crane M3, which I think is awesome and super tiny. And yeah, I really like it, but I just don't think that gimbal tech has anywhere to go, really. And maybe I'm not innovative enough, but I just can't really think of many things where I'm like, oh, you know what this gimbal is missing? This one feature. Like, it's just kind of, can it hold your lens? Is it stable? Can it be comfortable? You know, some small things here and there that all of them do. Like, guys, I still use the original Zhiyun crane. Original. I've used that thing for like 8 years, 7 years, however long I've had it, however long it's been out. Like, there's just, I like it. It works. It flies my camera. I have the settings dialed in a very, like, you know, old school, that you got to go into like some weird like code program and do it, and now it's way easier. But it's just what I'm used to, and I just like it, and I just don't think that there's anything that, you know, is really, really that I'm missing for weddings, right? For other stuff, maybe. For camera setups that aren't what I'm flying, maybe. I love the Crane 3. I made a video about it. There's some awesome things about it. I love the Weeble S. I have one of those over here too. I love the Crane Lab 3 or whatever. I love the DJI RS, or I haven't tried the DJI, whatever. Like, whatever DJI comes up. Like, they're all great, is basically what I'm saying. Yeah, we'll see what comes out. I'm sure we'll review them if we can get hands-on with them. I would love to see something really innovative. The Crane M3 put a light on the front, which I think is super interesting. It also is just like super tiny and can fly a full frame camera, which is crazy to me. So I like that. I like things getting smaller, right, for weddings. But man, it's really hard for me to leave my original Zhiyun crane until it dies on me. And then I'm going to buy a new one for like $30 because They're so cheap, probably. But yeah, so that's my thoughts. I mean, I don't really have anything specific that I'd like to see, I guess, all that to say. But I always think, like, look, you know, if you don't have a gimbal yet, yeah, something like that is going to be awesome, I'm sure. And if that's what you get used to and works into your workflow and whatever. So, yeah. Do you have any question with Nanlite 60B or any in this chat? I don't know exactly what you're asking. The Nanlite 60B, I have not used it. I did at last WPPI get hands-on with the Nanlite Forza 40X. I could be wrong on that. That thing seemed really cool. I haven't used it at a wedding. I don't own it. I was just playing around with it. I was like, dang, if I need a light, I might try this out. We'll see. How am I sitting for bookings for 2022? I think I've got like somewhere in the 9 to 12 range. I really should know, but I don't. So I am going to take on a few more. I hope to take on a few more. The last 2 years I've done closer to 10. I mean, obviously the last 2 years have been weird, and I definitely want to do more. 10 is not enough for me. But I've had some other like bigger commercial projects and stuff. So I'd like to do 15. I think this year, if they're spread out well enough, I would do a little bit more than 15 just because the last 2 years have been, you know, lower years with the pandemic and stuff. But yeah, have a few more, you know, people that I'm in talks with still, and we'll see what happens. 87 and Smith, Speakeasy in DC. Maybe. I think we're talking about New York and Nashville. Or NYC in Nashville, but I do think we're probably trying to add to that list. But I'm going to DC in May. So what's the spot? I would like to know, because I have no plans. Well, I do have some plans because I'm there for a specific reason, but I will have some free time and want to check some stuff out, and I don't know what to see or do. So I need excuse to visit more states. A speakeasy might be a good excuse for the long flight from the UK. Do it. We'd love to have you. We'll keep you posted on, you know, as we plan the other ones. But last minute, end of the month, if you feel like coming to Vegas, that's a guaranteed one, because there's a date associated, and you can get tickets, and they're free. And there's tons of other filmmaking events and stuff like that. So yeah, we would love to see you there, and definitely let us know if you decide to. Jason, I love you. I love Lamp. Thoughts on upgrading from the 1DX2 to the R5C? Oh, okay. So I will speak from a very general sense. I've never used a 1D. I have played around with like the R6 or R5. And the original, like the EOS R or whatever it was. I used to shoot all Canon, like 5D Mark IIIs, originally 5D Mark IIs, stuff like that. I think I don't know about the R5C specifically, so I don't know specs on that. I think it's kind of like the R5, but it's like their like cinema line or whatever. I think for weddings, it might even be overkill. It's a great camera, no doubt. The R5, great camera. The R6, also a great camera. I think any of those are a great option for an upgrade. I'm sure there are specific specs that you are looking, that you have in your 1DX or that you want in a camera, and that's why maybe you're going with the R5C specifically. But I do think moving to mirrorless is awesome. I think the Canon mirrorless system is awesome. I almost switched back from Sony because I did really want to go back to Canon, but there were a couple things, I don't remember what they were, where I was like, I'm not going to. I kind of remember looking at the like launch of the R5C and saying like, I don't know if I would buy this over an R5. So maybe look at an R5. But again, you probably know your needs better than I do. All of those are great cameras though, and I think the upgrade probably at this point is around worth it. Like, I think mirrorless is the way to go. Their new mirrorless line of lenses is like stellar. Yeah. Auto balancing would be nice. Yeah, it doesn't really work like that, unfortunately. I mean, they have auto fine tuning right after you balance it, but you got to balance it right. I don't think that's ever going to change. A cup holder, yeah, we need to make these rigs bigger. That's what we need as a community. Favorite ceremony setup. I actually have a video on this, how to shoot a ceremony, but I typically So I typically run 4 cameras. So I will have a camera in the back of the aisle, usually off to a side, that's on the groom for the processional on like a 70 to 200. And then once kind of the processional is all done, that will be like kind of more centered on the aisle, just shooting straight down, like a closer shot of the 2 of them. Then I have 1 camera on the outside of the aisle on the front to get an over the shoulder shot on each person. But during the processional, the outside camera that's on the left side typically is up front getting people's faces as they come down the processional typically, and then it moves out once like the handoff kind of happens. And then I usually have a dedicated camera on a gimbal to follow the bride in a little ways, or I don't know, whatever I feel like doing. So that's kind of my go-to setup, I would say. Gimbal Tech has nowhere to go. 100% right there with you. Gimbal serves a very simple purpose. What more do you need? Yeah, I mean, I think especially with weddings specifically, like they're gonna have, you know, stronger motors and hold bigger lenses and be smaller, and that's all good, but it's not really new technology. It's not a new feature. It's just getting better and better, which I'm all for, don't get me wrong. Actually, you know what the one thing I'd really like to see? I hate internal batteries. I hate it. I do not want to bring a gimbal with an internal battery to a wedding. I do not want to have to attach a battery pack to it, where sometimes I have to have a battery pack attached, sometimes I don't. I want batteries that I can swap. That is one of the reasons I still stick with the gimbal I have. Now, I've never gone through a set of batteries on a wedding, but I've gotten close before because sometimes I forget to turn it off or something like that. And if I do that on a gimbal battery that says it lasts 8 hours, and, you know, if it's actually on and it's a heavier lens, and it's going to be less than 8 hours, and it's in hot weather, cold weather, and it dies, your gimbal's done for the day unless you attach a battery pack, and then it's probably changing the setup, and I don't like that stuff. So go back to batteries that I can pop in and out. Or like I've used my gimbal for like, okay, you know, like so I do like Ninja Warrior, right? So peek into my personal life, and so I help out, like I compete in that stuff, but I help out at some gyms and run like their live streams sometimes, or help them out. And like if I'm running a gimbal that has to recharge, it doesn't work. For that I need 3 or 4 sets of batteries, because we're streaming for 12 hours. You know, that camera is getting flown that entire time. It's never turning off. So yeah, that's what I would like to keep, or like give me the option or something. I don't know. Do you shoot anything outside of weddings, commercial work? I do a little. Yeah, I do. I mean, it's kind of like I don't market heavily for it. I do some interviews for some different companies. I do some commercials for some local companies. I had like a really big project the last couple years. I don't know. Like, yes, I do. I should market for it better, honestly. But I just, I don't know. For some reason I don't. But I really should. And, yeah. But I like the mix. I like doing both. Where do I get most of my clients? It's a mix. I get referrals from certain, vendors, photographers, and wedding planners mostly. Definitely past clients. I have people find me through YouTube, occasionally through Instagram, although I'm not great at Instagram. And then I get a lot of inquiries from the Knot. Now, my booking rate for those is a lot lower. My response rate is a lot lower, but I do book from the Knot as well. Yeah, I don't know. What's my average booking with doing 15? My average booking is probably, it's hard because I do like a handful out of state too, so there's like travel in that kind of. My average booking is probably between 5,500 and 6K or something like that. So, and then, yeah, I do commercial work as well. So, but 15 is not really based on the amount of money I want to make. I will say that, like, it's honestly based on like, I want to enjoy my life, and more than 15, I've done that for a very long time, and I just don't want to keep doing that. It's just too much. And I have other businesses and I have wedding film school that I'm working on. I have a unrelated business that I'm in the process of opening, stuff like that. So it's just like I have other things that I need to do. The old one is better than the Weeble. Yeah, I don't know. They both have pros and cons, but it's just like, hey, I'm used to it. I like it, and I'm gonna, keep rolling with it or whatever. What more? What questions? Texas in March. Would you use the Canon R5C for a wedding? Yeah, I don't know why I wouldn't. I think that the R5C is a high-priced mirrorless. I'm pretty sure that's their cinema line one that's pretty expensive. Sure, I'd use it for a wedding, but if I were paying for it, I probably would. I mean, for me, I don't think there's anything on it specifically that I feel like I would need. I'm happy with the Sonys I have. I would be happy with an R6. It's a great camera, right? So I think you could save money and still do great at weddings. And so much of, camera tech is great and gives us awesome options and whatever, but, a great wedding filmmaker is a great wedding filmmaker no matter what tool they're using. So it's just a tool, Yeah, I don't know. I don't know about the A7 IV. I haven't used it. I love the A7S III. Yeah, I don't know. I don't think that the color consistency is a big thing. I use mixed cameras. I've never really had issues. So. But, you do you. It's certainly something to think about. What's up, Purnell? Doing well? Have you seen what Justin Porter Media is up to with his films? Nope, never heard of Justin Porter Media. But what should I be looking at? Question, when you're talking about the church camera positions, how do you expose the white balance in S-Log3? I don't shoot in S-Log. Sorry, my throat's getting scratchy. Too much talking. Wait. White balance. Okay, sorry. So I don't shoot in S-Log. That still remains true. So, yeah, I don't really have an answer for you other than, if you're using a monitor, you could throw, a Rec 709 LUT onto that monitor, and so that you could see what it looks like. I like using... Look, I use different white balances, yes, if I have the time, and especially if it's mixed lighting, I'm going to dial in a Kelvin. But I also can walk in, right? Or I can walk outside and I can say, it is sunny. It is cloudy. I can walk inside and I can say, these are all yellow lights. It is tungsten, right? So I don't think there's anything wrong, especially at a wedding, with using presets. Now, I wouldn't use auto, especially on a Sony. I don't know what you're on. But Sony's change auto while you're filming. So if I'm pointing at a window and there's some blue light, it'll change. And then if I come back a little, it'll change. And that shift is really, really hard to deal with in an edit. I hate what it does. Canon, at least they used to, not change while you're recording. I don't know if that's still the case. But yeah, so anyway, sorry. I don't think that using the presets is a bad thing, right? Now, if it's mixed lighting, I think you do need to dial in Kelvin, and you might need to color shift after that and whatever. But yeah, as far as S-Log3 specifically, the only thing I would say is maybe use a monitor that you can put a LUT onto, and so that you can see, a more finished product from it. But yeah, I don't use S-Log3 for a variety of reasons. So. I use auto and quick switch back to manual. Yeah, that might work to check it, but if it's not coming out good, it's probably not how you're checking it. It's probably your white balance and learning how to use Kelvin or whatever. So, tips for beginners: shoot for somebody else. Second shoot for a while. I don't know. Tips for beginners. That's way too broad of a question. I think it's crazy. Want to hear your thoughts on it. He's starting to do actual cinematic documentaries for weddings rather than highlight more in-depth look into the couple. Again, I don't know what that means or looks like. I know Henry Martins is kind of pushing to do some more long-form stuff. He started doing that a while ago, or trying to do it more like 30 minutes type stuff, and he does amazing work. So sounds like it's kind of like that. Yeah, I think there's a place for it. Look, there's a client for everything. There are people who want that. There are people who want 3-minute highlights. There are people who want 10-minute highlights. There are people who want all of that, So, yeah, I don't think that, I don't know. I think it can be cool if it's done right. It can be really boring and bad if it's done wrong. I don't want to make stuff like that. So, I don't know. Let's see. Is your other business you're working on something local to the Twin Cities? It is. And actually, you might be interested. So yeah, I'm working on a business right now. I won't dive into it too much, but it is called The Wilderness, Co-working and Fitness, or actually Fitness and Co-working. So yeah, we basically have this huge space, utilizing it as a co-working space. We open in April. Lots of awesome amenities for people who can work, remotely. So, hot desks where you can drop in, sit wherever you want, dedicated desks, dedicated offices. But the main thing that's really setting us apart is kind of combining that with a natural movement, functional fitness type gym space that kind of bleeds into the co-working space too, and kind of meshes together. And yeah, just kind of really focusing on, physical and mental health, and bringing that into the workspace, because we feel so many workspaces are missing that. So look out for that. Fitzgerald Films in the Twin Cities, opening in April. Just starting out and in need of a solid audio recorder. No need for anything over the top. Looking at the Tascam DR40X, or do you recommend something else? I recommend the 40X. That's what I still use. That's in we have like our kit or our recommended gear. I think you can see a bunch of our recommended gear in the description of this video. So yeah, that's what I use still, and I love it. I do kind of want to upgrade. There's like the F3 coming out. There's the X8 from Tascam that just came out. 32-bit float, which is cool, and just, something new and whatever. But yeah, the 40X is great. I love it. Actually, I have the DR40. It's not the 40X, but I think they're essentially the same thing. I don't think the 40 is made anymore. So that will definitely, yeah, you're definitely capable of getting good audio with that. What's your thoughts on it? To be honest, for me, I love documentary filmmaking with weddings, and it's a really cool combo of the two. I guess, would you look into doing something like this? I wouldn't. I don't want to make anything that long. I just have no interest in it. I think it would take the right couple, because I think that you can present it as documentary, but I think a lot of that stuff probably has to be set up and communicated in order to get enough content to create something that is of a longer length. So it could work well, especially with multi-day events, or, people who are doing a week abroad and getting married at the end of it, where you're there for the whole thing, something like that, maybe, right? Because that kind of demands a longer edit. But I also I'm not looking at it right now, right? So I haven't seen it, so I don't know exactly what you're talking about. I know Henry's stuff. So yeah, I think what Henry's doing, again, I don't know, I forget the guy's name, Ron or something that you said. No, Ron is a commenter. I don't remember the guy's name, but I've seen Henry's stuff. He nails it, but he's an amazing filmmaker, and I think that it is certainly capable, certainly possible for other people to do something similar, but I think, I think the longer the edit is, the harder it is to keep it entertaining. The bride and groom will love it, guaranteed. Their parents love it, almost guaranteed. But how do you keep that entertaining for a stranger? I don't know. That's the question. Hi, Bobby. What safety f-stop would you use for unmanned camera on tripod at a ceremony in manual focus, so when bride and groom move, they don't go out of focus? I think you should be checking all your cameras and rotating through them. I think that you should strongly consider not using manual focus for an unmanned camera, personally. The advancement in autofocus and face detect and eye detect is so nice. Coming from somebody who shot manual focus for 10 years at least, only manual focus, I think you are doing yourself a disservice. If you had to use one, then my recommendation would be, if your number one priority is keeping everybody in focus, then you stop down as far as you can, right? And still expose correctly. But I don't think that's the move, I guess is what I would say. But yeah, if that's the priority, then stop down as far as you can. But you're gonna lose the bokeh or the compression kind of, or what, like it's gonna look like that. So that's the downside. So just know what you're giving up by running a manual lens. And the flip side, of course, is you could shoot at f2, but then they're probably gonna be out of focus. So you gotta weigh your options. There's no right or wrong answer. It's kind of priority, just like when you're exposing an image. I mean, there's a right or wrong exposure, or at least a window of exposure, but how you get there is kind of up to you. Tips on getting more weddings. I'm still a big fan of second shooting for somebody else, and really, we went over this earlier, but really getting in the groove, knowing what you're doing, creating very, very good work under somebody else, and then starting your own brand, and maybe doing a wedding or two for free. And if you are doing good work, that should give you all the portfolio you need to then start marketing yourself. And how you market yourself, who knows? Also, vendor relationships, planners, just being a good person to work with, just being a good person in the community, in the industry. And I hate networking so much, but it is necessary. And yeah, I don't know. There's no just easy way. There's no just like press a button, get a wedding. How many lenses do I carry? Well, let me count. 1, 2, 3, 4. I would say I use probably 5 lenses at almost every wedding. And I probably have... Wait, am I missing some? 1, 2, 3, 4. I use 5 or 6, and I probably have like 7 or 8 with me at most weddings. But like, I have a 24-70 that I don't really use. It was part of a handheld rig that I was using like last year or the year before, which I did really like. But then I didn't really like the size, and then I wanted autofocus, and it wasn't autofocus, so I don't really use that as much. I kind of want to just sell it, but I kind of just like have it in my bag, because sometimes it's nice, like, you never know at the ceremony, right? So it's like, it's nice maybe to have that on a camera for an over-the-shoulder shot, or, I don't know, just to have that range, so stuff like that. But yeah, that's typically what I'm at. Michael, do it. Move down to Minneapolis. It's cool. And yeah, the wilderness will be sweet. Yeah, Fitzgerald. Yeah, so that's what it's been. Man, we've been planning this for probably like 2 years, and now, actually in the space, building it out, and exciting stuff. So yeah, you have to come check it out. You get a free month if you donate a plant, because we're gonna fill it with a bunch of plants. He wants to document stuff like getting the dress, father of the bride interviews. Yeah, I mean, stuff, people don't see that stuff because it's not on the wedding day. But yeah, I think that could be cool, like getting the dress. Like I said, I think like, if it's like a week-long thing in Italy or something, like you have a lot of opportunity for cool stuff and cool moments. Even if it's not that, and yeah, you're along for the whole ride, getting the dress and whatever. I think that can be really cool. The one thing I would say is that's a lot of days that you're tying up, and I hope you are charging, not you, I hope he is charging accordingly. If I have to take 5 days, to shoot this film and do these interviews and whatever, like, I mean, those films should be 20 grand, maybe more. I don't know. So I think it is unique. It is cool. If it's like what you like doing and you found a market for it, I'm all for it. But I hope that, you charge accordingly, because I think that's a very easy thing to say, oh, well, I really like this, and people really like this, and I'll just do this one for, I'll just do this day for free, and, I don't know, like, can't live on that. So yeah. Up here in northern Minnesota all alone. Yeah, come down more often. I'm looking for a second shooter sometimes, so or sometimes I'm up there. Where are you? I can't remember. I'm up in Duluth sometimes for weddings, and I'm up there for fun a lot. Or I do a lot of shoots for Duluth Pack, if you're familiar with them. So non-wedding, but yeah. Do you guys have a guide to color grade? I haven't made one. I've made like a brief one of just like what I do, but I'm not like a color grading master, I don't feel like. Jay is big in color grading, and I know we've done some on our live streams, like live color grades. I don't actually know if we have a video dedicated to it. We have some where we're using like a software and kind of showing that off, like Film Convert or something like that, although that's not only color grading. But yeah, maybe we'll make one. That's a good idea. What's our opinion? What's my opinion on doc edits over individual edits? I do individual edits. I like people hire me for my highlight, and then they can also get a ceremony film and a reception film. I prefer it that way. Again, I think I've said this a couple times. I don't want to do a long form edit. I just don't want to. I don't know. I want to enjoy my work. I want to enjoy watching my work, and I know that if I edit it or even outsource it, a 25-minute doc edit, I know I'm going to be like, I don't want to watch through this. So, and that's just me. Like, that's a personal opinion, or maybe where I'm at in my career. I used to do some longer films or whatever, so I don't know. There's no right or wrong, though. What do I think of the gear hype? I think something I said earlier is that every piece of gear is a tool, and that is what they are. So choose the right tools for the job. Know that many tools can accomplish a good result. And look, we all like gear. I like gear. Gear makes my life easier. Upgrades of certain things make my life easier, and I'm grateful for that. But what gear you use is not the end-all, be-all, and it's not the determining factor in putting together a good wedding film. If you gave, Alex and Whitney Sculpting with Time, if you gave Henry Martins, if you gave Bottle Brush Films, a shitty camera from 5 years ago, 10 years ago, something today that we'd be like, oh, that's bad. That would never work. They will make a better film than somebody using top of the line, something that doesn't know what they're doing. Just the way it goes. What's the current most used build setup for most of the wedding day? No more of that handheld rig you had a video on. I don't really use that as much just because I really like it, and I do probably prefer my shots because they're a little steadier with that. But I did not like the size of it. Mainly just for like transporting and like setting up, and there's just like lots of cables and different battery solutions for different parts of it and stuff like that. So there were a lot of things I really liked about it, but ultimately I decided to try doing even more minimal. So I use a setup like what Jared shows off in his solo wedding filmmaking BTS video, which is on this channel. Excuse me. Which is really just like a hold fast harness setup. I really like it. I'm still using a tripod throughout the day, monopod sometimes, gimbal throughout the day. I'm not replacing my gimbal shots with a handheld. I don't recommend that handheld setup. But yeah, I like that setup. It's a trade-off. You're more mobile. You're more able to, like, I wouldn't even say discreet, but just be more like, raw, natural emotion without like turning people off with gear, if that makes sense. But yeah, there's a trade-off for sure. And that other setup is awesome too, and also works really well. I don't know, kind of in pursuit of figuring out exactly what I want, and I might go back to it there, or I might go like an in-between. I don't know. I gotta just like play around. I'm just like lazy in figuring that out because I still really like what I'm making and whatever. So on that question of using manual focus, I only autofocus, but sometimes it drifts off. Would you consider getting a monitor since the little LCD is so small? To me, it usually seems like it's in focus. What camera are you on, I guess, Ron? certain cameras I don't, even though they're new, should not be using autofocus still, in my opinion. Yes, a monitor will help. I really loved the 7-inch monitor that I had from Small HD Focus 7. Atomos makes some awesome monitors. There's plenty of monitor options. I think we maybe have some recommended in our gear links down in the description. But yeah, I mean, that will help. Even with manual focus, I would probably want to be using a monitor. But yeah, if you're using a camera that's not known for great autofocus, then yeah, that'll help. 20K dock edit. Yeah, that's what I said too. Never did an update of your rig. I mean, my rig is basically what Jared is using. So, I mean, I guess I can do an update, but it's just a leather harness. Camera sits down here at my hip, kind of. It's attached with a thing, so I use that as like a point of contact. Yeah, I don't know. I'm sure I'll go over it in a BTS or something eventually, but... Okay, cool. Yeah, you're in Duluth. Yeah, I shoot there for Duluth Pack on occasion, and then every now and then a wedding up there. But I actually just released. Actually, I think it's still private on my channel actually. But I did a elopement up at Palisade Head. And they climbed Palisade Head before their wedding, and then just rented a cabin. It was super cool. I really like the way that one turned out. Do you shoot by yourself all the time? What do you prefer? Nope, I never shoot solo. I always have usually a second shooter or at least an assistant or whatever. What would be your best advice on framing wedding as starting newbie? I'm sorry, I don't understand the phrasing of that question. Starstruck, you're in North Dakota. Very cool. Midwest represent. Am I burnt out from doing a lot of weddings? Because it seems like it. Do I seem like I'm burnt out right now? Or I seem like I do a lot of weddings. I used to, when I started, I would do maybe up to 30, 35. And I've slowly brought that number down. And one of the reasons is to avoid burnout. So I've done let's see, I think last year was my 15th year shooting weddings. So I've been very intentional about limiting my weddings over the years, mainly so that I can still enjoy this career. I feel like as a wedding filmmaker, if you do not enjoy what you're doing, you do not enjoy going to a wedding, you should quit. Maybe that's controversial. I don't know. If you don't love it though, I think this would be one of the most miserable jobs to do. And because it takes a lot out of you. You're always on the clock. There's plenty, all this stuff, right? And so if it doesn't bring you joy and you don't feel like you scratch a creative itch and that doesn't bring you some joy in itself and stuff like that, there are better ways to make money or, just do whatever. So, all right, last minute, guys. If you got any last minute questions, send them in the chat now because I will be probably popping out here. We've been going for almost an hour and a half. My voice is starting to get lost. And here, wait, let me see. I might have it. Michael, so I think it's unlisted right now still. I'm so bad about making my films live. It's astonishing. I'm always like, oh, is now the right time to do that? Should I do it right now or should I wait? And they'll be like, I should wait because it's 1:30 in the morning or some random time that this has crossed my mind. Like, I'll do it tomorrow at the best time. And I'll be like, oops, I forgot. All right, let me see if it is. Yeah, here it is. It's unlisted. I'll post it in the whole chat. You can all go watch it if you feel like it. But yeah, this was like a low-key, cool little elopement where they went climbing. And definitely some challenges on that one. But there you go. Michael. I just hate the editing, but I like enjoying. Yeah, I like shooting too. I much prefer shooting to editing. Outsource your editing. Easy decision. Would I continue working for other companies and just shoot and get paid, or would you try your best to open? Devin. That's a tough question. There are pros and cons to running your own company. There is something to be said for sure to just showing up and shooting and, you know, getting $500 or whatever, handing over the cards and going home. But there are downsides to that too, and you can make more money running your own business, but you also have to run a business. You have to market. You wear a lot more hats when you are running a business. So, you know, I don't have kids or anything, right? So I don't know. I think that's probably such a personal decision. And there's no right or wrong answer. And, you know, you could kind of do both a little bit, right? Start trying to do your own thing. As you book more of your own thing, you'll be less available for the other company and you'll kind of just phase yourself out. But it's a tough one. It's not a black and white answer, and there's so many variables, but you got to do what's best for you. How do I deal with the photographers and them bringing to the wedding assistants, second and third shooters? Communication. Excuse me. Be easy to work with. Don't be abrasive. Let them know what you need. Ask what they need. Be a team player. 99% of wedding photographers will respect your needs too, and you'll all work it out. Every now and then you'll get a bad apple. It happens. And then, you know, maybe you need to be more assertive or remind them what you need. And maybe every now and then you have to have the conversation of like, look, we're both after the same thing. We're both paid a lot of money. I am not more important than you. You are not more important than me. Like, let's just create something awesome for the couple. I don't know. Yeah, I don't really have problems with it, I would say. And I also think that's probably a testament to like where you are at your career sometimes too. I think if you are lower end and you are working with newer photographers, which is a very cutthroat industry, so is video in a lot of ways, you might have people who are less ideal to work with. But with that said, there are some high-end photographers that are less ideal to work with too. Like, I don't know. Yeah, communication. What's my favorite lens for weddings? Right now, I really love so my two lenses that I'm on for like the majority of the wedding is the 16-35 Sony from Zeiss and the 55 from Zeiss Sony. Handheld, I'm on the 55 most of the time. Gimbal, I'm on the 16-35, and that makes up for a lot of my shots. But I do have other weddings too. I love the look of a 70-200. I love having my second shooter on a 70-200 actually. I really like that look. Yeah, but it depends. Depends on the shot. Depends on the day. Need any help with a BTS? Let me know. Yes, that would actually be awesome. We will probably hit you up. I have one other guy who shot with me and might use him. You know, I don't know. But yeah, we do really want to get out as many BTSs as we can. Obviously, it has to be the right wedding and the right couple and stuff like that. But yeah, I will definitely keep you in mind for that. Devin, yep, no problem. Sorry, I couldn't make an answer for you. At my area, they only want to pay $150 for the whole day to second shoot. Are you in the U.S., Ron? Because if you are, you're just networked with the wrong people then. The $50 an hour is a standard rate, like kind of across the board in the U.S. at least. Like, yeah, there are people who pay less, but they aren't quality people to work for that probably know what they're doing. And like, I'm not like tearing you a new one if you pay 45 or 40, I don't know, whatever. But like, $150, that's what you should, that's like an assistant. That's like an intern. That's $15 an hour. Yeah, I don't know, communication. Lincoln, Nebraska. Yeah, you're just running with the wrong people then. Do I color grade in a gray painted editing suite? Nope, I color grade right here in what you can see behind me, which is some white walls and shelves and stuff all over my desk. And sometimes I color grade on my couch. Like I said, I'm not like a color grading aficionado. I'm not perfect by any means. I like the colors that I end up with in my films. I know my approach to get those. I have some, pretty basic and fine understanding of color grading, but nothing amazing. Jay is definitely better than me at that. But no, I don't color grade in a gray editing suite. I think that would be intense to have a only editing suite for weddings. Well, yeah, let's kind of wrap it up, guys. If you have any more questions, hit me in the comments. We always respond to you guys in comments and stuff. But yeah, we'd love to have you. Actually, while we're here, I should have done this before. Go ahead and hit the like button for me if you still are here. I would really appreciate that. And then, yeah, if you're on our other videos, BTSs, whatever, always leave a comment for us. We love hearing from you guys. We love responding to all of our comments and keeping this communication going. If you aren't in the Facebook group, definitely join. That's an awesome spot. We've got 17,000 members. But really good place to get in touch with other wedding filmmakers and stuff like that. So that's just called Wedding Film School. And then yeah, consider becoming a member. We would love to have more members. We appreciate our members. You can hit the join button, and it starts at just $5 a month. You're not locked into anything. So but that helps us keep creating content like this. We've got WPPI coming up, so check out the Wedding Film Speakeasy and get on our mailing list, which is just on our website if you want, because we are going to do more speakeasies. This one obviously in Vegas with WPPI, but we are going to do more in other cities around the U.S. So do I use LUTs? Yes, I do, but I usually tweak them. And what would be an okay amount? For second shooting, I would not consider, we are probably at different places in our careers and stuff like that. I do not think a second shooter should walk out of their house for less than $35 an hour. That would be, especially if you're providing your own gear. I really think 50-ish is if you're a solid second shooter or whatever, that's what the going rate is. Think about it. You have a half day and a full day rate, right? Or you should. I won't leave the house or whatever for less than $800. It's just what my half day rate is. So I'm not going to go shoot a wedding for $150 for a full day of shooting. But yeah, I don't know. Those are just my random thoughts. Okay. Thank you guys so much for joining. I appreciate you all for the conversation. I hope this has been helpful for you. I think I got to every question. So I hope that you guys got something out of this. Keep the questions rolling if you're watching this afterwards. Join the Facebook group. Come to WPPI. Become a member of the channel. We've got a lot of awesome things going on. We've got our podcast on Spotify and Apple Podcasts and anywhere like that. If you are a member, you also get video access to the podcast, so you can see our beautiful faces as we talk through stuff. That's new this year, changing the videos of the podcast to members only. But we still do our live streams like this where we do film critiques and reviews. I've done them kind of here and there sporadically. We used to be on a schedule. Then Jay and Jared got a new studio, and they're still working on it, but it is so close. So I think we'll get back on a schedule soon. That's it. Thank you guys so much, and I will see you in the next video.